Hello, and welcome to Rolling Out Star Studio. My name is Portia Monique, and today we have the beautiful filmmaker, writer, Erica Sutherlin joining us for Star Studio. Welcome to the show, Erica.
Hey, what's up? Hello.
Hey, what's up? So I'm so excited to talk to you about your film, number one, but number two, your directorial debut. And what a wonderful opportunity to have your film, A Gospel Christmas, with Kirk Franklin, an all-star cast, and so much more. Let's get right on into it. Tell us about this film.
Oh my God. It's amazing. I love the journey. So basically, this film is about a young pastor, a young assistant pastor, Olivia, played by Demetria McKinney, who has been living in her mother's shadow, who is also a singing pastor of a mega church. And her mother's name is Pastor Rashad, played by Regina Bell. Yeah.
I missed that. I missed that.
Yeah. And she sings. She's gonna, yeah. Oh yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah. So it's about her journey. Her mother gets an assignment to go pastor a small church in Texas, unbeknownst to Olivia. So she's kind of like pushed and forced out of the nest to go begin her journey. And so this movie is about her journey to finding her voice as a woman, as a pastor, as a leader. And because she comes from a generation of, or she's been passed down generationally of singing pastors and her on her mother's side, she finds her voice as a singer and pastor.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Demetria McKinney sings.
Well, we don't know. We have to see. That's one of the questions
Because
in the movie.
I think she is a singer, like in real life, right? Because of course
she's an actress and a singer. Yes, she's currently on Fort Salem, a Motherland Fort Salem.
Okay.
It's a good show. Trust me. I got hooked.
What network is that on? Motherland Fort Salem.
I watch it on.
We'll have the producer
look on Hulu. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds exciting. So that was a twist because I did not see Regina Bell in the trailer. She's not in the trailer, is she?
Let me think about that trailer. No, you did not see her in the trailer. That is very true. But she is prominent in the film.
Okay, let me see.
Can't miss her.
Okay, let's talk about the cast right quick, and then I want to jump back into your journey, how you got started as being a filmmaker, a writer. You went to USC, so we'll talk about that as well. But let's talk about the cast right quick. I'm gonna go ahead and play the trailer after that, and then we'll jump back into your journey as a filmmaker and a writer.
Cool.
Tell us about the cast first.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you said you was playing.
I'm sorry. Tell us about the cast first. Let me get the trailer ready. I got it. But go ahead.
Absolutely. So again, we have Demetria McKinney playing Olivia, the lead female character. We have Chaz Shepard playing Ashton, her love interest. Regina Bell plays Pastor Rashard, Olivia's mother. We have Kendra C. Johnson playing Miss D, who's like Olivia's close friend, and also she is the secretary at the church. We have Angela Burchett, who, if you saw the Clark Sisters, was in the Clark Sisters.
Angela Burchett from the Clark Sisters. I'm gonna have to look her up because her name sounds so familiar.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she's she plays, who does she play? She plays Stella, and Stella is one of the choir members in the film, and that's our main cast right there.
Cute couple, Demetria, super cute. And I don't know if you heard this before, but it's really giving me Preacher's Wife vibes. Has anyone made that link?
I'm so glad you said that. Yes, Preacher's Wife was one of my inspirations
Mhm.
in this piece. You know, it came up often when we were talking about design or the feel or tone of the film.
So let me tell you something. I listened to Preacher's Wife soundtrack on repeat for years. Okay. So I'm hoping that this one will have a soundtrack just like it because Regina Bell is one of my favorites. I love Demetria McKinney's voice. So I know you didn't give us that little tea, but we're going to hope and pray that Demetria is singing as well. Let's go ahead and look at the trailer, guys. Okay. Here we go.
Leading a church is a huge responsibility.
The Christmas Jamboree is in 3 weeks. You fail the Jamboree, you fail the church.
You got this.
You ready? No.
Help me get ready for the Jamboree. The church needs a choir director. Please.
Demetria McKinney, Jazz Lamar Shepard, Kendra C. Johnson, Angela Burchett.
Come on, let's sing.
Kirk Franklin's A Gospel Christmas premieres Saturday, December 4th at 8. Part of It's a Wonderful Lifetime.
Well, so exciting. That brings up conversation we were having backstage about Kirk Franklin and about this being the first of its kind for Lifetime. Can you tell us more about that?
So this is like Lifetime's first gospel Christmas movie. Very Jesus oriented. A lot of their, I'm a lover of Lifetime's holiday season, the Christmas movies. And so, they feel big and open and very inclusive. And this movie is very inclusive. It's just has a very gospel intention behind it with Kirk Franklin's music. So what we did was we took Kirk Franklin's gospel Christmas album, the one that everybody loves, and we have about eight songs off that album that he went and rearranged to fit our story.
Okay.
So that's how that happened, and that's how his music is interwoven into our story.
So I'm sorry, I did not mean to interrupt.
No, you're fine. No, go ahead, ask the question.
How do we listen to the music? How do we listen to the soundtrack? Is it out yet?
No, it's not. And that would be my producer's question and answer. I'm not sure when and or how that's going to be released and handled. I do know that Kirk Franklin he's been posting that he's working on new Christmas music, but I don't know if the soundtrack for this is coming out like that.
Wow. Okay. So exciting. So let's pivot a bit to your journey as a filmmaker and a writer. Let's start from the beginning. When did you discover that you had a love for this?
I knew that I wanted to take this journey when I was 18. And I was being groomed to go and to be an aeronautical engineer. And then I took a theater class.
You better come through, aeronautical engineer. Y'all see how she just sprinkled that on in there? That's the talk of somebody very intelligent, okay? An aeronautical engineer. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, and I had to take a theater class or a fine arts class, and so I selected theater, and I fell in love with it. It wasn't my first experience in theater. My mother made sure I did all the dance, all of that stuff when I was little, but something about it this time was different. It was finite and real. And I wanted to pursue it. Like I wanted to explore it. So I knew then that I wanted to be an actress. That was my first thought. And so I did everything to be an actress. I went to undergrad. That's how I met Kenneth. I got my BA in performance with a minor in directing. I had my acting career, a lot of theatrical acting. And I always knew in my mind that being an actress wasn't the only thing. Like I had a whole journey ahead of me. I knew that I would eventually direct. I didn't know when or how that was going to look. So I just kept going. And so I started directing theater. And so I've been directing theater and acting for like 20 years. And back in 2014, I co-wrote, and my producer produced a feature. Right, so this is my network debut, but I have one film under my belt in general.
Mhm.
And I like to call that my teaching tool, my training tool. Like I wrote that movie and I was like, maybe I should go to school for this, learn some things. Yeah. And so I think it took me a few more years after that, because I was teaching during that time. I was teaching acting, directing, and intro to film at a school like Fame. Remember that movie Fame?
I'm gonna live forever. Don't play with
Yeah,
me.
girl. So I taught
Yeah.
at a school like that down here in Florida. And so then I left and I applied to USC. I got accepted. I left everything. I walked away from my career, cashed in all my savings, my 401k. I mean, hard all in, walked away, went to school for 3 intensive years.
That gives me so much joy. It fills me with chills, right? To have you really pursue your dream and like give it your all. And now look at you, like you working with some greats, you're
Yeah.
with Kirk Franklin, you're with a big time network, Lifetime, which by the way, don't get caught on the Saturday with Lifetime on, because you just
Because it's a wrap. You might
you're
as well.
just not gonna leave the house. You gonna sit there and you're gonna watch movie after movie after movie after movie after movie. Okay. And
Yeah.
so I know we're gonna be watching yours like that too. But yeah, and then you got some great actresses and actors as well. So that is phenomenal. Now, you also spent some time with the Director Shadow program. What did that entail? Tell us more about that.
Absolutely. So a great friend of mine who is a former executive at Lifetime, Michael Chin, which is how I got the opportunity to direct the project.
Mhm.
So I met Michael through Tracy Twinkie Bird, who's a huge casting director in Hollywood, and she's also becoming a major force as an executive producer. So I met her through another project that we worked on together while I was in school. She
Mhm.
introduced me to Michael, and I sat down with Michael, and he was like, "I believe in you. I believe in your talent. Uh, I'm working on some things. When I have something, I'm gonna come back around." And in Hollywood, you're like, "Oh, okay, yay, sure." At
And
least,
yeah, right.
I'm on the other end of the spectrum. I'm not 20 years old, so I know like that may come around, but I
Yeah,
won't hold my. But it did. He showed up. He
yeah.
showed up with an opportunity. He was like, "So this is how Lifetime hires new directors. We put them in a director shadowing program. And basically, they pair me up with one of their seasoned directors, and I follow or shadow them throughout their entire process of making a project."
Mhm.
And I did the Death Saved My Life with Megan Good, and the director's name was Seth Jared. So I
Okay,
shadowed that project,
wonderful.
had a great time, learned a lot of things. And then from there, after that was done, we talked, Michael and I, and he talked with his team and his bosses. And they offered me the opportunity. Well, Michael offered me the opportunity to direct A Gospel Christmas.
Listen, there's nothing that you can't do when you believe in you, right?
Hey.
And so your story is so, like I said before, heartwarming. Of you like, listen, I'm betting on me, and I know if I'm betting on me that I can't fail. And so you just followed your dreams and you did it, girl. And it's given me so much inspiration to hear and to see you as this, beautiful person, all these beautiful experiences. And now you walking in your truth, like you living your dream. And that is a wonderful thing.
Thank you. I felt like, here's the deal. I have sacrificed so much since I was 18 to do this. I come so far. I'm just at a point where you can't turn back,
Yeah.
like all right, Erica, so we at this crossroad again. What are you going to do? Yeah, you can keep teaching. Sure, you can. You can retire from teaching. You can go, I can go to another school and get a degree, or I can just cash it all in, walk away, not knowing what's going to show up, how it's going to show up, how I'm going to be able to afford it. Because, you know, this debt is real. And go.
Yeah.
And then keep going.
Yeah.
And just keep going. I gave myself, you know, there's always that side of me that's like, okay, in 3 years, you would like to do this. In 5 years. But also, you know, as they say, tell God your plans. Because I had some plans. And I even had some plans in this before this opportunity showed up. You know, I had some plans. It's interesting because what Michael didn't know when he first met me was that I was walking away from directing. I thought that I was in this interesting place in life, you know. I was in grad school. I was the oldest person in my cohort by 10, 15 years. That I was bamboozled by, because I always thought, you know, okay, you go to grad school, they'll be in their 30s, you know, cool. And then I went there and I was like, oh no, they're 21. When did this happen? What do I do?
You know, you look young. You look super young anyway. So they probably was like, she's 21 too. Okay, maybe 22. You know, so you probably blended in, but I understand.
Yeah. But you know, that journey. And so just going through all of those things, and then just being where I was in my life, like having the self-doubt, like creative self-doubt.
Yeah.
And I thought that, you know, well, maybe I'm not good enough. You know, maybe I'm not supposed to be a director. You know? So what do I, you know, how do I do that? You know, all these things are changing. And so, but I met Michael, and he didn't know, I didn't know he was coming back to offer me anything director wise. No idea, because I wasn't even thinking about that. And then it showed up, and I was like, oh, okay, tell God your plans and see what happened.
He gonna laugh. But listen, I wanna touch on something before we continue. You said you had this doubt, right? And you were about to walk away. How did you deal with the doubt? What were some of the things that you did to keep pushing before Michael even showed up?
Yeah, so I am that type of person that I have to keep going. I don't know how to. They're just people that you don't know how to exist or breathe without moving forward in some way. So I decided that, okay, I have this doubt here, but this other thing has started to blossom again. It was my writing. And I was like, all right, well, I'll take my energy where I feel, you know, comfortable, and I will infuse it into my writing journey, and I'll do that. You know, I'll do that while I'm processing, figuring this whole directing thing out. And, you know, or maybe not figure it out. Maybe I don't direct. You know, that was very, you know, that part of me was very sad, but she kept like fighting. And like on the inside, like, don't forget me. I'm saying you can direct. And I was like, I don't know. I'm feeling like I can't. And so I just started to invest in the writing. And as I was investing in the writing, and the opportunities that I got to do writing wise kept me very close to the director. And in that world of directing and working with the directors and looking at it from that perspective, from the writing perspective out, or the producing perspective, because, you know, I was able, you know, in school, I was a showrunner for a project. And so looking at directing from a producer's perspective. So I always stayed next to the director. And then it came around when it was time for me to be the director.
Let's talk about that. So, of course, we said this was your directorial debut. But for those who may not know, let's walk in the day of your director's shoes. What does a director do? What are their responsibilities? Just kind of list out the top ones.
Yeah. So the easiest thing to say is the director is the shepherd of the vision.
Mhm.
So in a day, you can answer 300-400 questions, and they all want an answer. So you have to be able to, one, handle that type of question, those amounts of questions coming to you, and figure out an answer. Even if you don't have an answer, answer it in a way that it sounds like it's an answer,
Mhm.
but we all know you didn't answer that question, so they'll come back around later, you
Mhm.
know.
Mhm. I have some time. Mhm.
Yeah, you spend, and then a lot of the questions that you're fielding are visual questions, like what's the vision, what do you see here, how did you want that to go, what should that feel like? So I spend a lot of time wrapped in, when I'm working with my team,
Mhm.
wrapped in the visual storytelling of the film.
Mhm.
When I get the opportunity to work with my actors, I get to work inside of the character, the scene breakdown, the energetic, the emotional journey of the story. So that's what my day looks like all day until I go to sleep. And then I wake up to questions and emails and text messages, and being pulled in 13 different directions, or having to deal with 50 different personalities every day, plus your own.
Yeah,
Right.
Because you
So
might not feel a certain way today, but you got to pull it together and
you
make
got to
sure
pull it
that you
together.
show up for your team.
Yeah. And you are the leader, and and the team is the reflection of you. And you have to remember that. So I think you create how you want your team to move in the day, the energy that you want on your crew or on your set.
Yeah.
You are the shepherd.
I love that. You're the shepherd of the vision.
Yeah.
Shepherd of the vision. Okay, so let's talk about your experience with this directorial debut, right? So
Yeah.
what type of energy did you have going into it? Was it nervous? Was it anxious? Was it anxiety? Was it like, give it to us? What was it?
Oh my, it was all of those. So mine is a little interesting because normally on a Lifetime project, you come in. So what you probably don't know, I only had 15 days to shoot this movie.
No, we don't know that. That seems like a real tight timeline.
It is.
Okay.
15 days, 9 songs, and 96 pages. So coming in or knowing that I only have 15 days to achieve all of that is in its own right stressful and exciting, because like you just don't know what each day will hold. But
right now, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but is 15 days kind of standard across the board
with Lifetime's model?
Okay.
So like, because they produce so many films in a year, and I don't remember that number, but it's somewhere like 50, 60. I don't think it's higher than 80, but it's somewhere between that 50, 80 number, like, of films a year. So their production timeline is short.
Yeah.
So normally you come in, you get about 6 weeks. You get 3 weeks of prep and 3 weeks of shooting, or 15 days of shooting. But this time for me, I started at the beginning. Like, I was there when all we had was a log line, no script.
What's the log line?
It's just the little short synopsis to tell you the idea of the movie, what the movie is. And no script. Michael just had a thought. He was like, this is the movie I want to make. It's about this young pastor going to this town. And so from there, I was able to be a part of that entire process of hiring the writers, which we hired Courtney, Richard, and going through the whole development process all the way up to where I would normally come in at 3 weeks out from production.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how did you meet Courtney?
How did
you find your writers? Yeah.
So again, Michael is a person that believes in finding new talent and raising them up. So Michael's idea was to have a completely Black female team. So my executive producer was Tracy Twinkie Bird, Black female. I'm a Black female. Courtney Richard, Black female. So we got together. So he brought her in. And like he brought some writers in, and then I believe Twinkie, she brought a couple of writers in, and they interviewed for the position, and we all talked about it, and then we selected the writer that we wanted to work with, to take this journey with. And Courtney was the writer we chose to take the journey with.
Love it.
And so that was exciting because I was used to that world, you know, back in school, being a writer and in development, because I love to develop projects, working with her one-on-one, growing that story was really exciting and nervous. Like, and then you get the script and it's like, okay, it's all on you, Erica, go ahead, direct it.
Okay, stop right there. It's all on you, Erica, direct it. What did you do next?
And you got to, I became very organized and put together my lookbook, how I saw the film, how I wanted to talk to my team. I gave them visuals. Everybody coming into this project, you knew exactly what I wanted to make and how I wanted it to look and feel. And then from there, my goal is, so here is the overall vision. Now, all of my department heads, you're experts in your field. I want you to enhance this vision, make it better, sprinkle your expertise on it. Let's talk about it. So that's what I did. I got closer to me being, here's the script, let's direct it. I went into prep mode. I prepared myself. I prepared the story so that I could answer the questions that I knew would come.
You're giving us a whole masterclass over here. I just want you to know it. But we love it. We love it. Okay, so first day of shooting. Walk us through that. What you do? Did you sleep? Did you sleep, girl? Or did you just sleep 24 hours because you was ready?
Sleep is such a precious word. Yes, I did sleep, but so I did most of my working with Kirk Franklin because of the pandemic. We weren't able to be in the same space because of travel, right? Because you travel, you got to quarantine and all of that. So we lived in this virtual world and on the phone. So before I even got to shoot anything, we had to create the music and record the music. And so let me tell you how crazy that was. Everybody wants to know what's my most crazy thing, like what's the thing that really got you. And it was the day I received Kirk Franklin's scratch demo, his first shot out the gate. He's like, here's my music. He rearranged everything and I received it. And I was like, okay, great. And so I listened to it and I was like, okay, cool. And I had some, I had some notes, right? But then they hit me back up and they was like, all right, Erica, so do you approve these songs or do you have any notes? And I was like, oh my God.
Not asking me.
I was like, I got to give Kirk Franklin notes.
Yeah.
I listened to that music for 3 hours straight. I would not respond to an email. I just kept telling myself like, oh my God, Erica, you getting ready to give Kirk Franklin notes. Like,
yes, girl. Yes.
What do you do? I was in my hotel room tripping out. Nobody knew. And eventually I got to myself. I said, Erica, now
in the mirror,
you're the director.
Get it together.
You got to answer this email because they want to know. So get it together and answer it. And I was like, okay. And so I transcribed my email, the thoughts I had, the things I loved, some things that needed to be changed so that it fit better with the story, sent it off. And Kurt's team was like, oh, thank you so much, Erica. We appreciate these notes. We'll get right on it. And I was like, whoa.
Received them, girl, and without any type of.
Yeah. And then even talking with him, because I got, so we FaceTime or Zoom and we talked on the phone, and our creativity happens. And I was cool with it because I create late at night.
Yeah.
So, so sleep for me was interesting because I knew between the hours of midnight and 3 a.m., I could receive multiple phone calls from Kirk Franklin as he's in the studio creating the music.
What an experience. What an experience.
It's dope. I'm not gonna lie about it.
Yeah.
It was very cool just to be having that conversation, the creative conversation with Kurt and his team, and Reese, which was his assistant, like just to have that creative conversation in the wee hours of the morning when most of the world is like sleep.
Time to work though. It really is the best time to work, because you don't have to answer phone calls, you don't have to answer emails, and you really can just kind of get tunnel vision and get extremely focused on what it is that you're doing. So
that happened before the first day. So by the time the first day came, all my music had been recorded. And then we go into the first day of production, and the first day of production is always an interesting dance. It's like a blind date. You're getting 50 people who may or may not have worked together before in the same space to create the same project at the same time. And that can have its moments, right? You still don't know me. I'm supposed to lead you through this process. You're supposed to trust me. I need to trust you. I'm feeling, so it's like this interesting dance. Like, how do you get through the first day? Is it going to be great? And we had, if I can remember the first day, I feel like for a first day, it was a good first day. I believe we made our day, which is always great.
What does
that mean? That means that we knew what we wanted to shoot that day, and we shot everything we wanted to shoot, to film that day. Yeah.
I love that. Okay. So you made your day, you made your
everything
that it is that you guys wanted to shoot. Okay.
Yeah, we did that. And
so you went home after that, because you had a great day. Y'all shot everything y'all needed to shoot.
At least I remember that. That's what I remember.
I'm
gonna go with that.
Don't hold me to it, but that's what
I remember that it wasn't a bad first day, because it could have been worse. Okay. We could have been hours behind. We could not have made our day. And it is true. Time is money, and money is time. We could have been. I'm a big believer that you don't need to create with drama or like yelling and being. So it wasn't that on the set. No one was yelling at each other. So I would say it was successful.
So you go home after the successful day. Do you wind down? Do you have some wine? Do you look at yourself in the mirror and say, "Bitch, you doing a good job. You doing a good job."
Oh my God. I'm so glad you brought that up. So my producer and I, that's what we tell each other. We were telling each other through, and we still do.
Yes, girl.
Because honestly, we're still in post. Like, the movie is not yet complete.
Okay.
But she will just turn to me, or she'll say to me, "Bitch, you doing a good job," and I'll say it back to her. Because I love that you brought that up. But I got home, and I can't really tell you that I remember the first night. I was probably exhausted. My body was probably hurting. Just being up first, you have to condition yourself to stand up or be up and about for 12 hours. So I'm pretty sure I was crawling to the bathtub, and thinking about how I can make it even better. Like, as I always self-assess every day. I'm in the evening. How did I do? How could I be better? What didn't go right? How can I fix that for tomorrow? What do I have for tomorrow? Can we get through the day? And like, all kind of things always pop up. You always, pivoting and changing course. So, and then I'm answering phones and emails.
Well, let me tell you something. We are so proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
And just hearing your journey and your story is so inspirational. I teared up a couple times. I don't know why. I just did because it brings me joy. It's so heartwarming to see that but you bet on yourself and you went for it and now you're actually doing it and you had notes for Kirk Franklin.
It
Okay.
was crazy. I wake up every day and think about that.
Yeah, yeah.
I
So
wake up every day and think about Regina Bell.
yeah.
And she just wrapped her arms around me. She's so sweet. She's so sweet.
Mhm.
And if I'm correct, I believe this is either she's done some smaller things, but this is like her first like big thing.
Mhm, mhm.
And she just wanted to be perfect. She wanted to be great. And I knew she did. And she was like, she wanted excellence. And it was so precious. And she would call, like, if I was not next to her,
Mhm.
I could be off doing something else, but she would tell Ivy, she would like, go find my director.
Oh,
And I would come over and I was like, yeah, what's up? You need something? She's like, I just want you to be here. And am I doing it right? And I'm like, you're perfect. Like, I would tell you if I needed something else. And she was nervous, but it was so buttery and good. And
yeah.
I loved watching this cast.
Mhm, mhm.
And I can even say the crew. I watched how they took ownership of this film. This is not my film. Like
Yeah.
this, most definitely. Like I said, I was just a shepherd. It's been so good watching them get so excited, and they tell me, "Look, Erica, this is not my first film. I've done many films, but I feel like I'm so excited. Like this is my very first time again, Erica."
Mhm.
And that to me is the goodness.
Yeah.
Or when my hair stylist walks over to me and says, I mean, I thought that this was gonna be, like, okay, a cute little movie,
Mhm, mhm,
and I was gonna be okay with that.
mhm.
But this
Mm,
is good here.
mm,
Like, I'm so proud to be on this film. Like,
mm.
that's for me. That's what I like.
Yeah.
I like that, and then I like giving it to the people and watching people watch the work.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm out after. I'm like, done. You got me. That's it.
So your baby is being born on Lifetime Network December 4th. What do you want people to walk away from after seeing this film?
Mm. I want people to walk away with loving themselves a little more, believing in themselves, betting on them. That's it. And knowing that, you know, whatever, for me, it's bigger. It's just a gospel movie, yes. And so we are based this in Christianity. But for me, this is like whoever or whatever you believe in, like knowing that when you bet and believe and loving you and trust in that higher thing, that you okay. It's got you.
Mm,
God's got you. Universe got you. Whatever it is, whoever it is, you speak their name. And but speaking in the vein of this movie, God's got you. Bet on you. Believe in you.
mm. So many chills, and I just want you to know that you just poured into a lot of people. And like I said, I'm continuously getting chills. So thank you for that. And
Oh,
then
thank
I'll
you.
just leave you with this. Like I'm so blown away by your spirit in your determination and your tenacity and all of those great things. But I'm gonna leave you with this, sis, because I think we here now. I just want you to know, sis, you doing a good job, sis. You doing a good job. Sis. You doing a good job. And
Thank you
keep
so
it
much.
up. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. We would love to stay connected with you on all of the things that you have coming up that you are going to be working on as well. So we'll make sure that we're working with your publicist, Ken, on that as well. And
Thank you.
I'll stay in touch. And of course, you guys have to tune in December 4th on Lifetime. Y'all go see her first directorial debut alongside Kirk Franklin in A Gospel Christmas.
Yes.
Now
Thank
tell
you
us.
so much.
Oh, thank you. This has blessed me today. I don't know if you know how much, and like I said, I don't even know why I'm getting so emotional about it, but like it really has filled me in my soul. Just
Oh.
okay, girl. I'm just anyway. Tell us where we can follow you because I'm going to follow you right now.
Okay, so we can follow me on Instagram, and it's simple. It's EC Sutherlin, Sutherlin. I'm getting better. Well, it Ken will tell you.
Busy
I am.
girl. Listen,
I'm trying to get better at
busy.
being on the gram. I'm learning. I'm always learning. But yeah, so you can follow me on Insta or Facebook. You know, for those people that love Facebook, I still am a friend of it. And that's just simply Erica Sutherland. So that's me.
Well, thank you so much for spending this time on Rolling Out Star Studio and having this conversation with me. It's been wonderful. It really has been a pleasure. And I see amazing things for you and
Thank
can't
you.
wait to see them all unfold. So
Thank
thank
you for
you so
speaking
much.
that into my life. Thank you for speaking that.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. And I am Portia Monique for Rolling Out Star Studio. See you guys next time. Take care.